Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of my 5x5 progression series. A lot of people seem to be interested about how good I am at this event, and the answer is that I'm not very good, but showing you guys an example solve could really show what I could improve on, and make sure to leave that in the comments as I'm kind of stuck. So I learned 5x5 free slice edge pairing, and I think my slow speed mostly comes from my inefficiency during centers. So if you guys have any tips or any tricks for the centers, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. For some background info, I used the MGC 5x5. It came way too loose out of the box, and I didn't notice this because when I first started 5x5, I turned super slowly, but then once I got used to it and I started turning faster, then it would explode a few times per solve. So after tightening it by 2 full rotations on each side, this problem has been mitigated and the cube still has quite a bit of fluidity when you're turning. So I highly recommend that if you're getting the MGC 5x5 that you tighten it by quite a bit. The method I'm using is the reduction method with free slice edge pairing, and I average about a little over 3 minutes. And with that out of the way, let's get on to the example solve. So I can see that we can pair this middle bar up like this, and then we can pair one of the side bars by first getting 2 of them together, and then after that we can find a way to move this corner down and then move it in a way so that when you attach this onto the corner, then it will make a full bar. And then we can insert that into the top. For our next bar, we can get this one out of this whole layer and then bring this one down so that when we move this one over, then it will become a whole bar, and then we have finished our 3x3 center for the white face. For the yellow face, we can make our center bar like this, and then similar concept, we first make 2, move this into a different layer, and then move it back in a way that it bars up, as in it creates a bar, and then move this bar into the top. And then for the rest, we can pair these 2 up, then move this one here so that when we bring it back, then it will bar up. And then we have our 4 centers here. I think that starting with green will be good, and then after green we have to make red. So when we start with green, we have this bar in the middle that I just made, and then luckily that just paired up this bar. And then for the rest, we can kind of put these in miscellaneous places so that we can get them to pair up like this. And then once we made green, we move on to red. So we can pair up the middle bar like this, and then the same concept applies to the green center, where we have to bring everything back and then solve these 2, and then solve this bar. And then now, because it's green red, we can put blue here, and I see that this will pair up with these 2 like that. And then here we move this one up so that these 2 will be the only ones that are not solved. And then to solve these 2, we move them down, move it into a different layer, then move that down, then move it back, move this back, and then move it into the original layer. And now we're done with all the centers, and we're gonna go to edge pairing. For edge pairing, I already see that the white orange is mostly solved. So when we just put this one to the top, then it will pair up, and then we replace it, and we keep the slices free. That's why it's called free slice. And then pair these 2 up, and I think this one's 3rd edge is at the top. So we pair this one up, then move it to a new layer. But if we move this one down, these 3 will pair up. And then this one, to get it correct with this, we can flip it and then bring it back so that these two match up. And then we can find the white red like that, pair it up, insert it, and then look for more edges. For the yellow orange edge, I can see that inserting this one here will get these two to not pair up, but to pair up once we flip one of them. And then this one at the bottom will pair up with this, and then we can replace with an unsolved one. But I think that replacing with an unsolved one is actually good, because then we won't break up any other solved ones. And then for this one, we can put this one here so that they pair up, and then this unsolved edge back. And then for the yellow red, we can pair them up like that, insert, and then we now rotate the cube, knowing that these four on the bottom will not be touched. And then we have our last edge here. So what we can do is we can flip this one because it isn't correct, and then bring it all back together, then put this one at the bottom. Then from here, we can solve it by using a few methods. So first, bring the unsolved ones to the top first, and then pairing them up, putting the unsolved one back in, and then realigning. Another trick that you can do is, because these three will solve and we have nothing to replace with, then we actually can't solve these three, so we have to find a way to solve two first, like this, for example. And then we move this one here so that when we flip it, move this over, flip, then this one will pair up, and then this one here, when we flip this one and then put this one on top, flip it and bring it back, then this edge will pair up. And then we have last edge parity, and then 3x3 stage. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.